Welcome to Dropping In, a podcast of storytelling and interviews with your host, Winter Olympian Mercedes Nichol.
Thank you so much for dropping in today. It's always nice to hear my mom's voice. Thank you for doing that intro, Mama. Thank you for dropping in. This is Series 15, and we are recording April 3rd, 2026. If you're new to dropping in, thank you for coming. And if you're coming back again and again, you've listened to over 130 episodes. So thank you. This episode is this whole series 15, is about goals. Now, they give us direction, but they also can test us. They show up on the good days, and they really matter on the hard days. Goals aren't just about winning medals or hitting milestones. They're about learning how to keep moving forward when motivation dips, plans change, and you know how life can always just throw you a curveball. In this series, we drop in with athletes, Olympians, and changemakers to unpack how goals are set, reset, and sometimes completely rewritten. I'm excited to drop in with this next guest, so let me introduce her. She started skiing nearly as early as she could walk, earning her way onto Canada's alpine ski team. For over a decade, she was a national force, an 8-time Canadian champion with multiple World Cup podiums and a bronze medal at the 2003 World Championships. She raced for Canada at 2 Winter Olympic Games in 2002 at Salt Lake, placing 7th in the giant slalom, and in the Torino 2006 Games with me. From skier to events, brand, marketing, community managers, she's founded her path leading and pioneering the safe sport movement for the past 6 years. Founding 2 companies, she's now the chief sports officer at Headversity, providing safe sport education for athletes, coaches, and parents across Canada. This mother, friend, Olympian ski champion, change agent, and courageous advocate for safe sport is about to drop in. I'm so excited to introduce Allison Forsyth.
Wow.
Oh, hello.
That
How
sounds
are
really
you?
fancy.
You've done a lot.
Apparently. You might tell people how old I am too, but we'll just go with the done a lot. No, I'm kidding.
The Olympics always do. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Wait, what were your first Olympics?" And I'm like, never mind. Don't worry about it. Are you ready to drop in with our 10 rapid fire questions that are never rapid?
Love it.
Okay. Number 1. Oh, well, just out of curiosity, not number 1. Where in the world are you coming from today?
I'm in Oakville, Ontario.
Perfect. Okay, let's get into it. Number 1, the tough question. Are you an early riser or a late night owl?
Early riser. I
Yeah.
don't know if that was from the skiing life, as you would know, the mountain life of getting up there early to train before the crowds. I don't know if it's nature versus nurture, but it's rare to find me still up in the double digits at night, as
Okay.
lame as that sounds. And I'm usually up by like 5:30 and 6, going to the gym before my children get out of bed.
Wow, that's dedication. I'm not an early riser. I try to be, but I'm not. Number 2, did you ever have a favorite mountain that you maybe raced on or visited or anything like that?
Easy, Cortina. And
Cortina.
yes, I also did it's always interesting, as you would remember too. It's like, did I really love the mountain, or was it because I always did well there? So we had a World Cup
Yeah.
in Cortina. It was long,
Okay.
meaning hard, and I was apparently pretty fit. So I got 2 podiums in Cortina, and the Dolomites in Italy. Come on, like it doesn't get more beautiful than that, in my
I've
opinion. Yeah.
I've never been there. Did you watch these games?
What?
And did
Oh
you watch
yeah,
these? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, sure did. And it's fascinating having raced, with the downhill there as an example,
Yeah.
because it's so turny and there's so much terrain with the Dolomite Mountains, you can only sort of set the course one way.
Okay.
So even way back, like the
Yeah.
courses, I'm like, oh, I know that turn. I know,
Right.
right? Yeah,
How
it's
cool was
fascinating.
that?
Yeah. And then when Lindsay crashed, I mean, not to bring up the devastating moment that we all reflected on, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
that exact turn. It's always the same on the side hill, the left leg, like, yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it all.
Mhm.
That's super wild. Okay. Cortina, good answer. Number 3, coffee or après-ski hot chocolate?
Coffee
Or a
or
beverage.
beverage,
An al
beverage.
an alcoholic beverage.
It's a time of day. I try to keep myself to 1 cup of coffee a day. I won't tell you how big that cup is. Um, and also try to keep myself to 1 glass of wine on the odd occasion. I won't tell you how
Okay.
big that glass is, you know?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Relative.
Totally, totally. My friend wanted to get that glass that holds the whole bottle.
Yeah. Just having a little after lunch
Nice.
aperitif here.
Number 4, when you were ski racing, I don't know if you did this, but I feel like this might be part of your life because you have so much energy, as I know.
Mm.
Is there one song that still gets you, like, fired up, and did you listen to that while you were skiing or prior?
Um, Green Day.
Oh,
This is anything Green Day. I have that, like,
really?
yes. And it's so interesting that you said this because I'm gonna take us way back, 1999. What? Um, World Championships, Vail, Colorado, and it was
Yeah.
my first World Championships. I was a nobody. I came 10th in the slalom, which was incredible at the time. And I
Okay.
remember going up the lift to that song, like, and it was we were bawling our eyes out because I had this video playing, and you know that song Green Day that's like, "I hope you had the time of your life."
Yes.
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 And it
Yes.
was the last day, the slalom, and I remember going to the starts being like, "This is so great." So, yeah, I'm a big Green Day, and I've actually started
Oh,
to, like, retro myself. Like, you know, when you get to a certain age where you're like, your genre, like, I'm, like, kind of punk alternative rock or late '90s,
right.
early 2000s girl. So, my kids are like, "What is this?" But wait.
Wait, isn't it full circle coming back?
Oh, yeah, because I get in the car the other day, and my son Riker, who's 15,
Yeah.
he's, like, figured out how to hack into my Spotify in the car. I'm like, "What?" So, suddenly he
Oh.
plays Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I was like, "Son." And I start singing all the words. He's like, "You know these guys?" And I was like, "Do I?"
So good. Oh, I love it. It's kinda cool that it's all coming back. I'm totally here for it.
Yeah.
Um, Number 5, speed events or technical events, which was more fun
Mm.
for you?
Tech. I was always a quote unquote tech skier, not that
Okay.
anyone likes to be labeled. And then I started to do well in the speed events later in my career, hence Torino downhill crash. So it didn't end up so well for me, but I was always my strongest event was always giant slalom. But I
Okay.
would say most people would know me as a tech skier.
Okay, cool. I really wanted to know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know that. I think it's interesting
So
because there's
and the
just so many
skiers.
options.
Oh, yeah, but you'll get this in your sport as well, like, the skiers listening, the racers, that background. I mean, 1999 World Championships again, wait for
Yeah.
it. We were still racing slalom on long skis, like the long, straight skis, and I killed it on those, which was like the clack, 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 like, just
Right.
right? And the one woman that won, she came from Australia, and
Okay.
she literally brought short skis, and
Oh, interesting.
we were like, "What are those?" And she won. And so then
Mm.
suddenly we were like, "Oh, something's about to change." And in one
Yeah.
season, my slalom skis went from 176 to 156. And
Wow.
from that moment on, I mean, I got a couple of top 10s in slalom, I can't complain, but I
Yeah.
never, like, mastered what we would have called the short slalom ski because we all remember when they were
No
long
doubt.
and
That's what
straight.
you learned on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wild. Okay. Number 6. This is a bit tricky one. What's one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
Mm.
You are kind of an open book.
Oh, oh, yeah, right. Some of it you can just find on the internet,
Yeah,
and
but
on
go
great
ahead.
display. But I would say that I am not competitive,
Oh,
but
wait,
wait
what?
for it. I know,
Okay.
okay, that's the wrong way to say it. So I am not competitive against other people. I don't care if I win or lose, like, on teams. I think a lot of individual athletes would say this, like, I'm very competitive with myself. It was never
Yes.
about trying to beat someone else. It was,
Okay,
like, unfortunately, trying to beat me up, you know? Like,
what about when you're, like, playing cards or games?
no, didn't care.
Really?
Yeah, like, if I go out and play pickleball, I'm like, "Woo, I'm in the kitchen, like, whatever, let's go home."
Oh,
Like,
I envy you. I
yeah, a lot of
I
athletes are, like, competitive, like, that's their personality type, and I
That's
can
funny.
go out and pick up a
You're
little soccer on a field and be like, "Man."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's super interesting. Number 7, what's the best way to unwind after a long day?
Um, I'm in my self-care era,
Mm.
It took me, a good 30 years to get that era and understand that it's important. So I'm
Mhm.
actually big on like Epsom salt baths, also because I'm getting older and I'm stiff and have a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So I love to take a bath. I
Nice.
love to, um, I'm not beyond a Netflix binge.
Oh, because that was gonna be my next question, but go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have my kids 50% of the time. So there's a very big difference between like kids week and not kids week.
Yeah, yeah,
So, like today, my kids go back to their awesome dad. We are
yeah,
great friends, 4 minutes down the road, and I will spend 3 hours cleaning the house. I will have an hour bath, and I will shut
yeah.
her down and be in bed by 9.
Namaste.
Just rocking my social life over here.
Okay, number yeah, totally. Number 8, has to do with, do you read books? Like, what do you do? In
Mhm.
the bath, are you reading a book or are you watching a TV show?
What am I doing in the bath, Mercedes?
Well,
I try not to.
I do both. Like, I'll, like, read a book, and then sometimes I'll set up my
Mm,
computer, and I'll be like, "Nah, I don't wanna read, I'm just gonna watch a TV show," or something like that. So, what's the last book
okay,
you read?
so this is gonna be okay. So here's what I just got into: the fairy smut,
Oh,
and
yeah, I'm into it.
like, what is it? The what? The first? I'm on the first book, like the thorns.
A
The I
Court
don't.
of Rose and Thorns?
That's it.
Sarah J.
And yeah, okay. So I listen to a ton of podcasts. Hello.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so throughout the day, and if I'm out walking, I'm doing growth mindset podcasts. I'm doing a little true crime, depending on
Yeah,
I'm doing a little diary of a CEO, a little Mercedes dropping in, like
yeah,
whatever I'm doing.
yeah,
But after dinner, like this brain that fires way too
what?
quickly
Yeah,
needs to just read or watch
yeah.
nothing that makes it work. Like
Yes.
that's huge for me also because I don't sleep very well. So if I'm
Mhm.
lying in bed, I'm not reading a how to prevent maltreatment in sport book, like
Exactly, yeah.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
done for the day.
I
Shut
done
that
for the day
chapter.
on that stuff. Yeah.
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 Okay, I love it. No, I've read all of those books, so and I'm totally into it.
Mm.
I told my listeners, last year I had a goal of reading 100 books, so that
Whoa.
was, intense,
Amazing.
and I don't recommend it. But then I heard that, Sarah Jessica Parker read 175 books, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, she's rich and she has full-time help, Mercedes. Like it's like this thing is like you see the influencers who bring their kids on vacation, and I'm like the 4 nannies are just
Right.
off in the corner ready to put on the
Different world.
sunscreen, right?
Different
Like different world. Yeah, but bless her. I love her.
Yeah,
I'm a big
she's a
fan.
legend. I mean, to
Yeah.
read that many. Okay, number 9. If you could try another Olympic sport, what would it be?
Wow, I love this question.
Winter or summer?
Oh, yeah, see, this is
Just
where
to
the
make it
question
more
becomes real.
difficult.
I know. Um, okay, so first of all, it would be a team sport. That's what I always wish I was in, and I am gonna go with volleyball in
Cool.
that.
Beach or not beach?
Oh, girl, there's nothing
Beach.
beachy about what. I don't know if I was raised a volleyball player and I could pull off the beach outfit, but
I feel like you
um,
definitely could, says the mom who
mm,
kept her abs in her with the second
well, yeah,
pregnancy.
yeah, they did, yeah, yeah. No, like court, like I don't know. It's just
Okay, court.
yeah, court volleyball, and that sounds very bizarre because I'm not good at it and I've never really played. But there's something about the power, the working together as a team. It's like when you watch it, like that, like it's just awesome.
Yeah, the
Love volleyball.
camaraderie is pretty sweet. Okay, number 10,
Yeah.
this is the last one, which I told you before. When a goal
Mm.
feels far away and starts to change, what's the one thing that you remind yourself to stay committed?
Who am I in the present?
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. I've gotten literally so many different answers on that
Mm.
one, and I think, in different reverberations, that is kind of the answer as well for a couple of people. Very, very cool. So that is the rapid fire. We are done and dusted. I
Mm.
wanna get into a little bit more about you becoming figuring out goals and who you are in the present
Mm.
and touch on that. So,
Mhm.
when you think of goals, if we're thinking about your Olympic goals, what drove you to that? Like, where did that come from?
Oh, I think a lot of people would ask, or a lot of people think, like the role model of in those times, like who was the Olympian? Who was I looking up to that had already made the Olympics? I was really lucky because my brother was good and he was only 4 years older than me.
Okay.
So it was right within my own home.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to have the cool jacket that my brother got. And I'm very real about that. And I also educate on that in sport because we get stuck, I think, sometimes thinking that a 10-year-old, yes, they're going to love, You know what I mean? They're going to love looking at the Lindsays or the U's or
Yeah.
the whatever. Like that's cool, but I believe it's unattainable. They need to look who's right in front of them or what's right in front
Right.
of them.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
we can go too long term too quickly. That's a vision, right? You know, like that's, but for me, it was quite easy in that I was like, wow, he made the BC team and look at that sick Descent outfit that's
Yeah.
purple. Like,
That's awesome.
and it's a one piece? What? Right?
It's so real. Like
Totally.
that is a
Yeah.
reachable, attainable
Yeah.
goal that you're like,
Yeah.
me, I want that.
Yeah. And I talk to organizations, I work in this all the time around culture of sport. And I was talking with Biathlon Canada. I was doing work with them and we were talking about their
Mhm.
development team. And we were talking about how to incentivize them through the high performance pathway. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, so you can't give all of them the Biathlon Canada vest. You need to give the top, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, what is it with this clothing thing with you, Allison? I'm like, I'm very realistic. Like,
It's
you
a
know how hard you would have
thing.
worked to get, like, my kids worked their butts off every year in hockey to get to the OMHA. So they get this ugly sweatshirt that has an egg on it. Like, and then they wear it around, like,
I
you
got
know,
the egg.
got
It
the
is
egg, ugly egg, because it's sponsored by like Get Cracking or something, So
I
I
kinda
was
think
like,
about that for the Olympics.
mhm,
So you ended up getting the suit, the jacket that your
mhm,
brother had, and then were you like, "And now I want Team Canada kit."
pretty much. And then when I bailed out under the days that you'll remember of no judgment roots, but terrible roots outfits, followed by equally, in my opinion, not great HBC outfits, especially because
Those
I just
weren't
started
that
working
great.
at Lululemon.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, darn, I started sort of the Lululemon Olympic vision, and
Push.
then I left in 2018. So now I'm like, hot diggity, they're getting good stuff now. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe other people are different, but I've always just tried to look a year or two ahead. I get overwhelmed and I get very
Mhm.
hard on myself, and I can get very anxious because I have anxiety. If the goal feels like too far away,
Yeah.
I really need that step by step, like smaller goals to get there.
Oh, I love that. I talk about
Mm,
smaller goals so often because, I think and you have kids now, so, like,
mm,
I'm not putting words in your mouth, but a lot of, expectations are instantaneous gratification thanks to, social media and all of this,
mm,
and even me, I'm like, "Oh, I could definitely do this," and I'm like, "Oh, well, it's gonna take time," and I think that's
mm,
something that we do forget, but I also
mm,
appreciate you saying when we look too far ahead, it gets, a bit scary in an essence, so those small goals are just so important. So, you got on the BC team,
mm,
and then, you have to have a drive and a passion to keep ski racing,
mm.
so where do you think that came from in those, like, small goals increments?
Um, Good question. So I had an interesting experience that you probably remember, but I was living alone in Whistler when I was a teenager, and that's not something I'd recommend for other parents to let their children to do.
Right,
Um,
right.
so there was a good few years there in high school where it was not necessarily a goal to get better, but it was a goal to like keep on the path here, Forsyth. Like
Okay.
you have no parental supervision, and I'm not saying really bad things happen, but I
Yeah.
was a teenager living alone in Whistler. Like everyone can do the math pretty quickly on the distractions and the opportunities that presented themselves
Yeah,
outside of sport focus. So in those 2 or 3 years, I would say grade like 10 and 11, to be honest, 2 years,
yeah,
um, I skiing to me became the thing that like I had to do.
yeah.
It sounds strange to say that, but my passion for it truly didn't develop. Again, I'm just always honest as you know me to be, like till, I was 15, 16. And that's
Yeah.
why I talk a lot about long-term athlete development and this.
Mhm.
I have a lot to say about over specialization of children and my own son. I'm like, he's 15, he's a strong hockey player. It's going to be up to him if it kicks in, not me, right? Like there's a lot I
Yeah,
could say on that. So it kicked in
totally.
and I made the BC team and honestly, like, season by season was my thing. I haven't really
Mm.
thought about that, but season by season,
Yeah,
and I always had an out because, again, I felt like I'd get very overwhelmed and be
yeah,
very disappointed in myself if I said Olympics or bust, and if I didn't make it there, like, I
yeah.
couldn't trust myself to not be devastated for the rest of my life based on my inner
Mm.
personality.
Yeah,
So even to the point back then, which I don't even do anymore, of like writing my SATs in case I wanted to go Div 1. Because, you know, like Div 1 is kind of like, unfortunately, in ski racing where you go when you don't make it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, so I always just had a season by season approach, to be honest.
I like that. Okay, so then you go season by season. You
Mm,
get the taste of your first Olympics, Winter Olympics.
mm.
What got you to the next Olympics?
Okay, so wait for it. I went from 50th in the world to 5th in one season.
Okay,
Okay.
mellow. Yeah.
So, like, and I say this was the year before the Olympics. And so I went from a nobody. I know, I get it. Like, top 50 in the world's a pretty good skier, but like in the world stage, it was like, who is this and where did she come from?
Okay, yeah.
I got an absolutely extraordinary coach, Mark Sharp, and we trained our butts off. I was super physically fit. I was all these things. And I started in Team France at the beginning of the season, starting number 40, and I came 5th. So I had a huge breakthrough season.
Okay.
So when I
Yeah.
came into my first Olympics, I was like terrified because I didn't have like a lot leading up to that. I just had like plopped onto the scene. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And you mentioned at the top of the show that I came 7th, and every time I hear that, I'm always very honest, I still glitch because I feel terrible about it.
What?
Terrible. Yeah. So,
Interesting.
podium or bust at the Olympics, and I felt I put so much pressure on myself. I was also not their fault, but I was also sat down by the board of directors the night before, and it was like, "Hey, Allison," they're joking, right? This was how it was back then. You remember? We're better now, but
Yeah.
like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Allison, if you don't get a medal tomorrow, we're not going to have any money."
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think that's changed drastically
Oh,
yet.
I know.
No, it has. I'm so sorry.
No,
It is changing.
I,
It's getting better, I promise.
trying to toe the line here, Mercedes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like trying to stay in the positive safe sport culture movement. But yeah, that was literally said to me, and I think what people forget is that we're human beings who don't sleep the night before and are like sometimes really scared and
Yeah.
crying and like, what if I let everyone down? So when I came 7th, I felt that I had. I get it now, but I'm very real about that because I don't think I'm alone in that. You know, I always say wherever you go, there you are. And if your goal is to win a medal at the Olympics and you come 7th, or I remember, you know, athletes now will cry coming 5th, and I respect that. Canadians watching it at home are probably like, this is ridiculous, but it's also something you've trained for your whole life, right?
That's
like,
so true. Yeah. I think if I reflect on mine, I'm
yeah,
like, oh, I did fall at my first Olympics. And then I
yeah,
had a freaking fire under me to go again.
right.
And then I was the underdog and no one was looking at me and I crushed it. So it was like just this roller coaster, right? Of
Okay.
everything.
So you know what I used to say is that the Olympics, in my experience, are full of like womb winners, which are like these seasoned champions that have their you know what together from a mental performance standpoint. They've won the Lindsays, the Julia Mancusos, like they know what it takes to hold it together up here.
Yeah.
Then, and bless her heart, she would say the same thing. It's like the Chandra Crawfords who show up at the Olympics in Torino, like, let's just have a good time. Oh my God, I won. Right? Like, so
Totally.
you felt this, right? There's the like, I got this. And then
Yeah.
there's the like, I'm just here to have kick a good time.
Yeah.
And then there's those of us in the middle. That's a tough one,
It
right?
is a tough one. Yeah. Yeah.
The tough one is and I don't get me wrong. I think that obviously the athletes that come into the Olympics with all the media on them, like the Lindsas and all these people, like that. I'm not saying that's easy, but they've got that way to separate it out that I didn't have. I was like looking at cameras, like, you know.
So that was your first games, and then what boiled down to getting you to 2006 with the sweet opening ceremonies jacket. I'm just kidding. It wasn't that sweet. It was like very long. It was very long and very white.
But I mean, I think you're underestimating the true highlight, which was when, if you remember, they put us on bleachers under the stage and we couldn't see anything. And I spent the entire opening ceremony being covered in exhaust because apparently there was Ferraris. Don't you remember this? Like, could you see? I couldn't see anything.
I don't think I could. I mean, I don't even. You never know what's going on at the opening ceremonies. Let's get real. So
I was like, am I on a kindergarten bench under a stage right now?
I love it.
I didn't see anything. I'm like, oh, I think that's Pavarotti singing. Right. I wish I could see. Remember? Yes. Like I remember. Yeah. So what got me there was, I mean, I had a good run like from 2002 to 2006, I was
Yeah.
ranked top 10 to top 5 the entire
Okay.
time. It was like my golden era.
Yeah.
Like it was like the Allison's figured this out. Got my
So
bronze medal at
awesome.
2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just a trajectory, and you qualified, and you and that was it. And so when you after those games, as you said, you took it year by year. Sometimes
Mm,
I would take it like for you, it would be race by race, but it was competition by
mm,
competition. Like, do I
mm.
still love this? Am I still in it? How did that end for you? Your skiing
Um,
career, your racing career?
how did my racing career end?
Yeah.
Well, I crashed at those Olympics in the downhill,
Yeah.
and I did not in a million years think that was the end. So
Mm.
I was going to like this is oh gosh, we should talk forever about how I felt back then, which was like, well, I'm 27, I'm washed up,
Oh,
right? Like I was like, oh, I was married. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just go to Torino, win the Olympics, hopefully. If not, that's fine. I'm gonna retire and have babies because that's what women have to do. That's how I felt. Now when I see
right.
Lindsay and I see like
The
I always
longevity.
reflect, yeah. Anyway,
Mm,
so didn't win, crashed,
mhm.
and unfortunately that was gonna be my worst event, and I was skiing really fast.
Okay.
But I flew home on a helicopter for surgery within 5 hours. And then I made a commitment to try to come back for Vancouver. Obvious, right? Like
How
I
could you
was gonna be
not?
old, but
Right.
I was like, it's Vancouver.
Yeah.
So I did 5 major surgeries, blah, 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 tried my little heart out to get back, but I had to retire in 2008 based on the injury from the Torino Olympics.
Bah,
Mm,
devastating. That sucks when you
mhm,
don't get to leave on your own accord. And I
mm,
that's I'm gonna take a moment for that. I'm grieving for you.
mm,
Um, but you didn't stop. Like, you were a powerhouse in the marketing and branding
mm.
agency. And is that a background from schooling that you took?
No, it's
How did you
a
get into
full
that
okay, luck.
then?
I was contacted by Chip Wilson at a very small company called Lululemon back
Yes.
then.
Yeah.
Imagine, no resume. I was like, dude, if I had a resume, it would have like 80 font Olympian, and that's all it would have on it. Um, they were so small, and what had happened was I was recommended by an athlete that they were already sponsoring. They're like, well, Allison's retiring. She knows all the Olympians. You should hire her.
Okay.
So the whole intention was the Vancouver Olympics were coming. I'll
Yeah.
always be forthright. Lululemon was a little peeved because they didn't get the clothing.
Correct. Yeah.
So the goal of the company was to like kill it as a company, and we
Yeah.
did. I mean, we ambush marketed the whole Olympics.
Uh-huh.
We're not allowed to do that anymore, but it was really fun. Um, and so I got really lucky. And then I would say honestly, and I say this quite a bit, whether it's sport or work, it's who you are being rather than what you are doing that matters.
Mhm.
So I have reinvented myself over literally 3 to 4 careers now,
Yeah.
where each and every one, including safe sport, I come in without knowing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, who am I going to be?
Yeah.
How am I going to respect people? What's my committed to learning? How am I going to grow? And back
Mhm.
at the Lululemon days, to take us back there, I mean, I was in marketing, but we didn't even have digital marketing. So there was no
Right.
real skill set, right?
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
and yeah. So, I mean, I literally walked in, I remember opening up a laptop and I'd use laptops for school and watching Netflix on the road if Netflix existed or probably something.
DVDs.
That's it. You know, the Sex
I
and the
was watching
City
DVDs.
DVDs. We used to pass around the Sex and the City DVD series.
Yes.
So I was like, who's got disc 4?
Mael had all of them. Mael had all
Oh,
she
yeah, he
didn't
did.
sleep,
Yeah,
and
she
she
did.
had, like, all DVDs.
Bless her. What a gem. Um, she probably had them in a library to rent out too. I love her. So yeah, so long story short, I remember opening up my laptop being like, I don't know how to use this thing, and that's really
Mm,
embarrassing. And so I talk a lot with athletes now about keeping up with AI and understanding, even though it's really difficult as you remember in the moment, to
yeah,
think about it ending.
yeah,
But
yeah,
inevitably one day it was, and we need to come out of it with like applicable skills. Yeah,
yeah, that's so true, that's so true. Oh, man, you've got such a wild story. I I
wild.
I have just so many takeaways, but I also want to acknowledge all the amazing work that you're doing, in sport now,
Mm,
and I was lucky enough to see that journey because you
Mm,
came and spoke at an Athlete Can forum, and then you got on the board of Athletes Can, and
mhm,
then this kind of like opened up a world for you, which I hope you don't regret because the work you're doing is so very, very important. Can you talk about? I mean, I wouldn't say you said you had luck with Lululemon, but
mm,
but I wouldn't say it was luck. I would say it was your name, um, and
mm,
and what you made yourself. You
mhm.
were on the world stage and people knew you. So when you're
Right,
an Olympian, you've got this drive, this passion,
right.
this focus, and all of these skills that we don't think about because they just end up coming naturally to us. So someone was willing to take a chance on you because they saw all of that in you when you were skiing. And so now you've taken that to create two of your own businesses, and now you're
Mm,
working with another business. So just can you break down to me how those small goals from speaking to then creating your own businesses came about?
yeah, okay.
It's kind of a
Um,
beast, but
And considering this is about goals, I'll stay away from the word luck. Got it. So, because thank you for saying that. I can be self-deprecating. You know that about
exactly,
me. Like,
exactly. I
yeah,
just wanted to
yeah.
throw you
I'm not
you.
really good at owning my own accomplishments.
That's
Um,
normal, I think.
yeah. Okay. So here's what it comes down to. Like one conversation. So I was a survivor of a pretty terrible abuse case. The perpetrator of our sexual abuse on the national junior team went to prison for 12 years, and literally four of us survivors sort of got on the phone about a year after, and we're like, "This is how easy it is, or hard, because it got very hard." But like, hey, why isn't Canada really doing anything to prevent what happened to us from happening to other people?
Yeah.
That was the conversation. Then I had a lot of support, as did other survivors, with like, I guess it's called lobbying the government, but I had no idea what I was doing. Someone told me, Allison, you have to buy a pair of nylons. I was like, yeah, good luck. You need to wear heels to the House of Commons. I was like, I'm wearing Nikes. Like, so here's the point, is that you saw this firsthand. I got thrown into very, could be intimidating meetings.
Yeah.
And you'll remember this, like, I didn't know the acronyms because I've been at Lululemon for 10 years, whether it was SDRCC, CEC,
Mhm.
COC, blah, 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 blah. So again, when I came into that, I was like, okay, who do I need to be in this space?
Yeah.
And my goal was be the voice of logic. So here's the
Yeah.
example. When I was in the House of Commons and testifying, as I did a few times,
Yeah.
I watched as the politicians were like kind of arguing back and forth about how to fix this problem,
Yeah.
of which they no judgment, but they have no direct experience like you and I
Exactly.
have.
Mhm.
And I just put my hand up as I do, and I just said, "Hey, listen." Not that I said it like that. I'm like, "Excuse me, can I speak?" Um,
Yeah.
inside, I was like, "Listen." I said, "If you think you're going to solve the problem of maltreatment in sports that has existed since Romans were wrestling in a coliseum with a 60-page policy no one's going to read and a 45-minute training module no one's going to pay attention to, you need to give your heads a shake."
Yeah.
You see that? Like,
Yeah.
so that's been my thing.
Mhm.
You've seen it in me probably as a friend.
Mhm.
Like, I bring logic and I bring the frontline experience of not only
Yeah.
maltreatment, but culture. And then I try to back it up to the boardroom. Before safe sport and organizational protection was, I believed and still believe the majority of policies are built to protect organizations.
Yeah.
And what I did was I went out there, including, you saw, like, spent 6 months with Rowing Canada, like literally living
Mhm.
with them, which was so fun. And like to help them restore their culture after a horrible
Yeah.
abuse case.
Yeah.
Like I go out to the front lines and I
Yeah.
immerse myself in the environment.
Face
Then
to
I go
face.
back and tell the board members, like, here's your problems and here's how you have to fix it. So that's sort of what I specialize in now, is bringing real, relevant, and respectful education and consulting
Yeah.
to sport organizations.
It's so necessary because a lot of um like athletes' lives and careers, they are known as athletes, not actually like as they're disposable to a national organization a lot of the time. And what my take is, you're changing that and you're helping
Mm,
that evolve to be a more holistic. We are humans. We we have feelings. We hurt. We like. need to be heard. So I think it's so important, all the work that you're doing. And I can't thank you enough for
Mm,
being the voice of the athletes when they feel that they can't have a voice. A lot
mhm,
of the time, for our listeners that may not understand this, a lot of the time money is an issue with athletes, and that kind of can be dangled in front of them to hush them up. So it's always nice to have someone that has no skin on in the game, to
mm.
help have their voices heard, which is so important. So
Yeah, I'll
thank
just
you.
give you one
Thank you.
exa I just wanna give you one example because, like, I do work at Canada Soccer with our national teams, like, these are, like, the best soccer players in the world, the men make a
Mhm.
lot of money, these are big deal, and I went into camp with the women, in Vancouver last year, and I just sat down at the dinner table as you and I would, like, they're just normal people, and we and I
Totally.
had a lot of people, a lot of your listeners also have had probably our similar experiences, like,
Mhm.
and so they know we're just normal human beings, and I sit
Yeah.
down at the table and I just lean over and I'm like, "How are you doing?" And they
Right.
ask me, they'll be like, "What do you mean?" Like, "I'm training, I'm doing this." I'm like, "No, but because I'm huge, like, let's be honest, what is safe sport? It's psychological safety and mental health, okay?
Mhm.
That's it,
Mhm.
full stop." So I'll be like, "But how are you doing?" Like, get it, you're out there kicking a soccer ball for us and you're on the national team, great, but how are you like, I'm not a psychologist, but, like, I just talk and get into the, like, and then we were like, "Well, what's happening?" And it's like 3 of our players were welcoming babies, so suddenly we were like, "Let's throw a baby shower." Like, it's not complicated,
Right.
Mercedes?
Right.
Like,
Right. They
take it
just
out
want
of
to
the,
be
like, they
normal
wanna be treated
humans.
like normal humans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And how often
yeah,
do they actually you threw them off because they're like, "How are you?" And no one actually asks that.
yeah,
It's so
right?
crazy.
Like, and that's what I say when I educate all of our national teams, we have 15-year-old incredible young women, centralized here in Toronto, like 50 of them.
Yeah.
And all I do is hang out and talk about culture and making sure that they know we care about them more, how
Mhm.
they're doing off the field than on the field. Like, it's the
Mhm.
shift that's happening, but
Mhm.
for everyone listening, like, help. Because,
Yeah.
like, I say this often, and you're in this with me, like, some of us feel like we're on an island trying to change the
Yeah.
entire sports system,
Yeah.
and, like, get on the island with us, people. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
please, yeah,
yeah,
it's sometimes it can feel like molasses and you're like, "Is anything
right?
happening?" And then,
Yeah,
you do see big changes happening, especially with the Future of
mhm,
Sport Commission report
yeah,
coming out and all
yeah,
of that, so change is happening. Good things
mhm,
are gonna happen,
they're
and it's
coming,
so
yeah,
wonderful. Allison, thank you so much for dropping in today. I wanna just
mm,
touch on a couple takeaways that, I personally took out of today, and I know every listener and viewer is gonna take out something different. But I really enjoyed your, how you stay committed, who I am in the present.
mm,
Um, we always can forget, like, present moment, be there, and it's really hard to ground us sometimes, so I really enjoyed that. Um, that your Olympic, goal was not a dream, it was these small, attainable goals. You wanted that your brother's jacket,
mhm.
and then, like, Olympic kit, obviously not so hot at the time in the Roots era, but, just having those attainable goals and acknowledging that the small goals, are what make these bigger goals, possible, and that it's totally okay to have anxiety over thinking about past 2, 3-year goals because,
Yeah,
I think we need to normalize that because it's very
mhm,
daunting and very scary sometimes. Um, I really thank you so much for sharing your
mm,
story. 50th to 5th, with your breakthrough season is no small feat. So I
mm,
can only imagine the effort and support you had to make that happen, which it does take a village. Um, I can't thank you enough for helping and supporting all of the Canadian athletes that you are. So keep doing what you're doing. Everyone, keep your eyes open for headversity,
mm.
because Allison is going to be at the forefront of that. And keep reading those books because you know what? We need a little escape every now and
Yeah.
then from real life because it can
Now
get
that you know what I
heavy.
do for a day-to-day business, you can understand why I've gotta really click off at the end of the day.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything I missed or anything you want to add in there?
No, I just think you're awesome, you know this. I don't need to toot your horn that I could forever, and I just, what I will say about safe sport is that listeners and people watching, based on what I do for a living, could think it's a horrible place to put their children, and that's not the case. Canada is one of the, as Mercedes knows firsthand, we are one of the world's leaders in the safe sport movement. Maltreatment happens everywhere, and if you're a parent listening, sport is still a beautiful place to raise your child. You just need more awareness and more diligence. But I just wanted to say that sport is awesome. And I
Yeah,
say that as someone who unfortunately almost every day has to deal in sort of more of the ugly side of it. So
totally.
yeah.
That's so yeah, there's a reason why we want kids to stay in sport. We loved it. We had a
Yeah.
great time. So yeah, you're not wrong there. Allison, where can the people find you online?
Well, things are going to shift quickly, but if you want to throw in the Instagram, I'm just Allison Forsyth because I'm an early adopter of Instagram. I got my own name. You're welcome. Imagine. I was like, there's a few more of us out there. And then, as you see on the screen, Allison Forsyth, comma OLY at LinkedIn.
Okay.
That would be. And I also say this working in safe sport. I never turn down anyone who's in any challenging situation. I'm very
Amazing.
confidential by nature and in any role I have. So if anyone ever wants to reach out who's dealing with some struggles in sport themselves, as a parent or an athlete, that's what I'm here for as well.
You're a legend through and through. Thank you so much
Mm,
for dropping in today.
thank you.
Thanks so much for dropping in today. You can find everything you want to know about Dropping In with Mercedes at droppinginwithmercedes.com. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks DJ Kenosis for the music and my mom for the intro voice.